Hi and happy 4th of July. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Jennifer and this is Kate.
And recently we watched a movie called Washington's Armor, a movie about young George Washington, and today we wanted to do a review of it. We think it's a perfect patriotic pick for the holiday weekend.
It has action, adventure, drama, and George Washington and so much more, so let's get started.
So recently we got a chance to visit and tour Capernaum Studios out in Texas. It's a really neat place, part of the Chosen TV series filmed there. And while we were there, we learned of another movie called Washington's Armor that also filmed there and was actually produced by Capernaum Studios itself.
So we had actually heard of this movie before, but we had never seen it. But then being there at Capernaum Studios and talking to the staff involved in the production and seeing some of the costumes and the movie posters, that just got us super interested in watching it ourselves.
And we also got to see one of the sets that they filmed on for the tavern scene. So that was really cool, and that really made us want to watch the movie.
So we did watch it finally, and it was so good. We think it's perfect to watch over the 4th of July weekend.
But let's start at the beginning. What exactly is Washington's Armor?
It is a faith-based historical movie that tells the life of George Washington. It's actually part of a movie trilogy that's going to cover his whole life, and the first movie is Volume 1, The Journey.
So the journey covers young George Washington and his many adventures. It starts about 20 years prior to the Revolutionary War, so the 1750s, right before the French and Indian War. And at that time, Washington is still a loyal British subject, and he's going off on all these special missions for the king, and it covers all his narrow escapes and his escapades, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Oh my gosh, we were sitting on the couch just biting our nails. It was so suspenseful, and I'm just saying that it is a good thing that his mother didn't know what he was up to at the time, because she would have had a heart attack. I'm sure she would have died young.
So who should watch this movie? Who would enjoy it?
Anyone who loves history, loves learning about America's past, likes historical movies, any George Washington fans, you will all love this movie.
Also, Chosen fans of Little James will enjoy seeing Jordan Walker Ross in this movie. He plays one of the bad guys, one of the French bad guys, so it's very fun to see him in that role.
Oh, he's very, very naughty, so you have to watch for him. Also, if you homeschool like we do here, this movie is a great addition to your American history studies, but probably best for older students. I'm thinking high school.
Yeah, it's definitely not for younger kids. It's very much a living history type of movie. It really brings the time period to life, but those were some violent times. So you have the Indians in very convincing full war paint, you have the blood, and you have the battles.
So because of that, you probably don't want your 5-year-olds, your elementary school kids watching that. Definitely the high school students can deal with it. Maybe middle school. I would say just know your student. You can always take a look at the movie trailer and preview it to see if it's right for your kids.
What are some things that we really loved about this movie? For starters, it draws you in right away. It really gets your attention. You are right there in the moment, about to get killed in the woods or whatever. There are just great visuals and a lot of attention to detail.
The cinematography is absolutely stunning in this movie. My favorite scenes were the ones shot out in the snow, although the actors were probably freezing the whole time.
One of the characters that we really liked was the future Martha Washington. She only had a small role in this movie, but she was smart, she was spunky, and we liked her right off the bat. And you can tell that she's going to be a major player later on.
We also love the way that the movie highlights the morals and character of George Washington. He was truly a class act all the way. And the movie gave us a new appreciation for his early career and all the trials and the hardships that he went through.
It makes you realize kind of what a cushy life most of us are living right now.
Oh, yeah.
That makes you very grateful for all the things we have.
We don't have any problems. Like these people had it hard. What would we change about this movie if we could? Well, we wouldn't change anything about the movie itself because it was great, but in hindsight, it would have been helpful if we had taken just a little time to do some reading about that time period before we watched it.
So again, that's like the 1750s, 20 years before the Revolution. We know a lot about what Washington was doing during the Revolution and even during the French and Indian War, but this is right before the French and Indian War, and we're a little unfamiliar. We don't remember very much about what was going on.
We're a little fuzzy about the early 1750s. We should have done some reading up. Who is Governor Dinwiddie? I mean, who's he? Who remembers him? Lord Fairfax and his family. We didn't really know about them, but now we will never forget them.
Another fun bonus of sorts is that this movie really made us want to look up some of the characters, and we kind of went down this rabbit trail of trying to learn more about them.
Yeah, as soon as the movie was over, we got out our laptops and we were just Googling them all to figure out how it ended and what happened to them.
And then there was one character in the movie who was very interesting, and we kept waiting for him to get killed. And we won't spoil it, but I don't know, he was a very interesting character.
He was, and we kept thinking, this is it, he's gonna get killed now, because, but again, we're not gonna give you any spoilers. He was the kind of guy that if you were in a horror movie, you know, and it was storming outside and there was a murder on the loose and he was alone in the house and heard strange noises in the basement, he would just go down to investigate, even if the lights went out. He would just do that. He was that kind of guy.
So it was really interesting to get to know him. It was very fun. So would we recommend this movie? Definitely yes. It is full of action and suspense and adventure, and it's also really cool to think about how all of this actually did happen.
It's an all true story, and it definitely makes you feel like you are right there living it with them. I mean, I felt like I'm in the woods waiting to be killed by the Iroquois. I feel like the actors must have had a lot of fun making this movie, you know, dressing up in the costumes, the war paint, the battle scenes. They definitely did it up right.
Finally, where can you watch this movie? Well, we went to the Washington's Armor website and we just followed the links from there and watched it on Epic TV.
So we did have to create a free account there, and then we could rent the movie, which cost $8.99, a bargain. And then once we started watching it, we had a full week to finish the movie.
Or you could just buy the DVD from the website, or you could try your local library, see if they have it, and if they don't, you could also ask them to buy it.
Definitely, because it never hurts to ask, and this is just the kind of movie that every library should have. There's also a Facebook page, Washington's Armor, that you can look up, and that gives you a lot more information about the movie. Okay, so there you have it. We really loved this movie. It was a lot different than I thought it would be. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it was so intense, so suspenseful, and it just, you know, really made you see George Washington in a whole different way.
So let us know down in the comments if you have seen this movie and what you thought. Or if you go and watch it because of this video, also come back and let us know.
So again, we're wishing you all a happy 4th of July weekend, and thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time. Bye.